Fellow Spartans, how you doing, and welcome back to an exclusive video to reveal some preview content for what I feel is one of the most anticipated mods in the Total War community, and it's called Rise of Mordor. Currently they are in the pre-alpha stage of development, and of course the team have still got a lot of work to do on the project, so all the details, design work, gameplay and information is, as you would expect, a work in progress and subject to change. But as we take a look at what has been designed so far, I'm sure you'll agree it's pretty fantastic, with an exceptional level of detail on display, and this has all contributed to them winning the best upcoming mod of 2015 awarded to them by ModDB, so big congratulations to them. And do stay tuned, because later on we'll be taking a closer look at the units in action on the battlefield. So today I'm going to give you a bit of an overview of the mod itself and let you guys know how it's been shaping up basically. So the mod is planning to be a total conversion mod, much like the extremely successful and in-depth Third Age mod from Medieval 2 Total War, which, as I'm sure you'll already know, converted every aspect of the game with hundreds of units, campaign map overhauls, plus customized settlements and battle maps. So the team essentially behind this are looking to bring that Third Age model to a newer, updated game, aiming to give a richer, greater and basically a more fulfilling experience to us. They have an impressive sized team currently behind them, with people specialised and involved with various parts of the project, from character designers, level designers, art and design, and they even have their own sound and music designers. They are, however, looking for new team members who have experience with 3D design of characters in the environment, animations and 2D art. So if you can offer any assistance or know someone who can, then I have linked their recruitment page in the description. And if you're thinking, what is this music that is playing in the background? Well, all these tracks that you'll hear throughout the video have been composed by the music designers solely for this game, which is awesome, and they have made it so the music remains in the style of the official soundtrack for Lord of the Rings, which is really cool indeed. And with the dynamic music system which is now in place within Attila, it'd be interesting to see if they can adapt that into the mod as well. And I wanted to say a big thanks to Vickers, the project director, and Mr. J, the project co-director, for getting me sorted with all the resources to be able to then cover this mod for you guys. So yeah, big thanks to them for doing that. Now originally this was planned to be designed and released on the Rome 2 platform, but the team decided to move the project to Attila, as the modding tools on Attila offered better support to them. So with that in mind, I'm looking forward to seeing what mechanics they can use from Attila for the mod in terms of campaign gameplay, siege escalation and the dynamic quests, which would fit perfectly given the Lord of the Rings background and story. But they have stated already that they won't move the project to Total War Warhammer when that is released, as Creative Assembly have officially confirmed that they won't be supporting mods because of the license that they have with Games Workshop. It's kind of a shame, as it may have been a logical move for them to make if it had been possible, given the similarity in the fantasy settings and world that they share, plus the assets that the Warhammer game would have been able to offer them. They also mentioned not to buy Total War Attila due to this mod, because if another game, maybe the new historical Total War title that's in development, fits their requirements in a better way, they'll probably transfer the project again. Now here is their design and concept artwork for the proposed campaign map on Rise of Mordor. It looks fantastic. As you can see, the map design is being aimed to project Middle-earth on Europe, with all the famous settlements and regions from the lore present, for example Bree, Amon Sul, Moria, Isengard, etc, etc. And if they could implement this into the mod, it would be fantastic, because as I said before, the campaign aspect of Total War has always had a lot of endearment towards it within the community, and I'm sure was one of the main reasons for the success of Third Age. However, the campaign map editor in Attila isn't of use to them, with campaign modding strongly restricted, and this has been a major drawback to mods for a number of years now, and so they're not sure if this will work in any way in the future, unfortunately. So their current plans are created for a custom battle mod release, which of course will still be awesome, as this is designed, as mentioned earlier, to be an overhaul mod and will add hundreds of completely new units, a complete reworked custom UI and custom maps with new buildings, which we'll talk about in a while. That he did ask me to link in the description a petition for a campaign map editor in either Attila or future titles, as it would potentially draw a lot of people to buy the game because of mods like Rise of Mordor, and if this came with the Middle-earth map, it would potentially bring a lot of people still playing Third Age over to Attila essentially. So if you want to sign up, the link is down below, and I definitely know this is an important topic within the modding community, and rightly so, as it was brought up quite frequently at CA's Mod Summit when I attended it back in November last year. Now this is a list, I believe, of the factions which will feature in the mod. I'm not sure if this is the final list, but either way the variation is fantastic, with more factions available than there was in the standalone Third Age mod. The team are looking to split the races and factions into 4 key cultures of men, elves, dwarves and orcs. So by the looks of things, they seem to have really drilled down the factions to basically sub-faction levels in Middle-earth. For example, Dol Guldur, Rivendell, Erebor, the Iron Hills, Lothlorien for example, and I believe as well it will be possible to form new factions if you take certain settlements or complete specific quests, which sound pretty cool. And also I hope they give a lot of variation to each race and faction, with them hopefully all having a very different feel and play style. Now all this depth is excellent, but on the flip side, to create that outstanding quality, research has to be done, and that's the real time consumer, as you can appreciate I'm sure. They already stated that they want to add hundreds of units to the game while wanting to ensure the accuracy and authenticity is there, and that will help to create a rich, very atmospheric and basically jaw-dropping experience. And this is emphasised, as you can see here, with the very thorough pipeline policy they have in place for unit creation, with a high number of phases that they want to run through before the unit is added into the mod itself. So this shows firsthand the lengths they are going to for the ultimate experience. The mod is looking to ensure the attention to detail is at the highest it possibly can be, and because they don't want to start from scratch, they have scoured the internet looking for any models they can use in order to achieve this. Obviously they have ensured that they have gained the relevant permissions in order to use these assets, and if you guys know of any resources that could be offered to the mod, then please head over to their forums and let them know. And as you can see from the models acquired, they really are fantastic. The detail is spot on, with the high resolution textures and the animations that will make it so real and essentially bring them to life. And I can't wait to see the likes of Gandalf the White in action on the battlefield, and hopefully other hero units such as Aragorn, Legolas and Gimli for example. And I believe I have seen that the general units for the faction of Gondor are going to be Faramir and Boromir, which will be really cool indeed. And from what I've read, they have got some of the model textures from Mount and Blade, which will really give them a great starting platform to work off. All this will add to the cinematic experience that the modders are surely going for. Now I've played a lot of the Third Age mod, and even that on graphics that are nowhere near as good as these still produce a great spectacle, so you can imagine how glorious this could potentially be. They have even started to work on the scale of the Mumakil elephants for the Arad faction, these looking a lot bigger, as you can see, than those on the vanilla. So once they've updated the skins, they will look pretty badass indeed. But not only has a lot of work gone into the character models, but they have started to work hard to design a high number of accurate weaponry and armour from the films. Again, the quality levels are superb. The Dwarven armour here is a fine example of this and really affirms that they are going for a full overhaul with this mod. They have mentioned that they will try to add as many assets into it as possible. Obviously, they'll have to balance this with the work it takes and also the stability of the mod. I would assume as too many resources and textures could make the mod unstable from a memory perspective. One part of the mod which really will take it to the next level is the plans they are creating for customised battle maps, and this will compensate in a lot of ways to a lack of a playable campaign map if that happens to be the case. The mod tools in Attila support this side of the game a lot more and will therefore give so much scope to create hopefully some spectacularly unique maps and settlements, which of course was a great feature of the Third Age mod. You can see here the concept and artwork plans which they are working on seem incredibly promising. Here Minas Tirith looks stunning, and last I heard they are still attempting to get the permissions to be able to use this model of the White City in the mod, and if they did, can you imagine how breathtaking it would be? It looks so authentic. And when speaking to some modders recently, they were saying that it isn't too difficult to transition models such as this into the game with the tools they have at their disposal, so that is very promising. Other artwork looks at a possible Black Gate map, and they have even talked about the Lonely Mountain being added, having found the terrain already in Attila which would fit the job perfectly. I can't wait to see what other locations they will be looking to include to really bring the world of Middle-earth to life, such as Isengard, Helm's Deep and Barad-dûr. That would just be incredible. Now what they seem to be working on, which is really interesting and again will be down to the campaign map being included, and that is with the mission sort of slash quest mechanic, which is prevalent of course within Attila. They sent over some proposals of how this will work, so it seems you have a chance to complete various tasks or missions related directly to the lore of the story or craft your own path within the campaign. It looks to be really in depth as well. It would be interesting to see how far they could go with this. Loads of plans in the pipelines you can see. So what you've got here is you've got like reactive missions which are triggered by events, time or actions. For example, if you were to play as a Shire in Breland, you could take the One Ring to Bree safely and that would be the mission accomplished. There's also what you call major missions in the game, and these are the most important missions basically. For example, for Gondor, this will be to take back Minas Morgul and claim it as Minas Ithil, and there's also minor missions accompanying major missions with small extra bonuses. For example, Mordor would be to start rebuilding the Dark Tower in Mordor, and I believe it may be possible that you could reclaim Khazad-dûm or the Mines of Moria, and from doing that the faction of Moria would rise up and give the dwarves access to the resource of Mithril. So it looks like they would look to overhaul even the resources on the campaign map, with different ones being more coveted and greater in value than others. And I wonder if the dwarven factions would initially be richer than other factions in the game, with their access to precious minerals and their excellent mining abilities and craftsmanship. But definitely this side of the mod has some great features. Let's just hope it can come to fruition, as it will give the player that essence of storytelling and roleplay that we always desire in Total War. Now let's take an exclusive look at some of the units in action on the battlefield itself and get a taster of the potential that this mod will offer. So the pack which was sent to me gave me access to 9 units, and we'll have a look at them all in a second across 4 factions that will be available on the mod. Seeing the units clash in battle like this with the enhanced graphics and engine of Attila really is a mouth-watering experience and has got me very excited. And as I said, this is just a handful of units fighting and already it looks fantastic. Can you imagine what it will look like full scale? And add that to the backdrop of a custom settlement like Helm's Deep, for example, and it will without doubt create an epic experience, almost as good as the movies themselves. The models look very solid, and when in combat the animations look fluid, and added with the blood and gore, it is quite a sight to see. And I'm sure the units will be updated even more as time goes on to further refine them. Obviously, with this being a preview pack, there is no balancing of the units yet, voices aren't implemented, and there is placeholders for the unit cards, and even certain aspects of the unit's mechanics are not working correctly. For example, the pikes for the Urika units are not correctly engaging at the moment. So I'm sure with time this will all come together, and they are going to be fully revamping the UI in Attila to give it that Lord of the Rings look and feel. It really is just a great sight to see, guys, because of the scale and epicness of Lord of the Rings. It really does deserve to be shown like this. I can't wait to see more units added into the mix, like cave trolls and Mummerkill. It would just be mind-blowing seeing these powerful units clashing together. You know, no doubt balancing will be a challenge to the team. I know that is still an issue in many Total War games, so it'll be interesting to see how they can tackle that in this mod. Sure, it's going to take time, but once the pieces are put together, the final jigsaw will have been well worth the wait, I'm sure. And with all the work involved, they haven't targeted a specific release date because the team mainly consists of freelancers and students, plus there is still many things to work on. So there we have it, guys. This looks, with what we have seen so far, to be a very, very promising mod indeed. Lots of work left to do, of course, but I'd rather they take the time, keep up with the level of quality on display to really give it that great authenticity to the world of Middle-earth. As the mod progresses, I hope to continue to work with the team and showcase more to you. And if you have any questions, then please comment below and I'll be sure to pass them on to the team in order to give some answers back to you, hopefully. As well, be sure to check out the description for all the links that I've mentioned throughout the video, but extremely excited for this one. It has got the potential to be one of the finest mods ever made for the series, and if it pays off, it has the power to shape many mods in the future, and even, you never know, help Creative Assembly with future Total War titles down the line. And of course, if you've enjoyed the video, please drop it a like and share it around, spread the word about it. It deserves to be out there. So yes, a new generation for Lord of the Rings and Total War, which quite frankly is a match made in heaven. Until next time, guys, this is Warrior Spotter for now saying farewell.